Hello, Professor Norman, class, students. My name is Thomas Ivester, and I'm presenting my rationale talk assignment for our job resume and job cover letter. So, without further ado, um, I'm just going to go right into it. So, starting off, the job that I'm applying for is a budget analyst job with the Contracting and Special Appropriations Division within the Coast Guard. And what it calls for is responsibilities in developing and performing lifecycle maintenance and management for interagencies agreements. It's a pretty technical job in the financial world that just so happens to be similar to what the job that I'm providing currently in my current job. So I felt like just a lateral move right over to the Coast Guard as a civilian would be a great fit for me. So so here I have the job posting itself with a screen grab with the details outlining that. Um, the first question: what did you highlight to or emphasize in the resume and or job letter, and what techniques did you use to add extra emphasis? So my key emphasis was on applying an easy read format and reducing clutter. I really wanted to put emphasis on my relevant job experience, my professional experience in education. Um, I used similar to what I saw from the textbook, where they used bold fonts to outline some of the key outlines on the job resume. And my rationale with that was that um, a lot of people tend to skim when they're looking at these important documents to find what catches their eye. So I wanted to turn kind of that skimming mindset into my advantage, where I made my relevant experience into bullet points at the beginning of my resume. Um, Another emphasis was where the textbook highlighted the use of bullet points in early lessons to describe the rationale and emphasizing on the key points because of the skimming techniques that people tend to use when they're reading emails and business letters. So that was basically my assumption with the when writing my resume. Considering the job advertisement you found, what do you have on the resume and or cover letter that makes you a strong fit for the position if you were to apply for it? So similar to the professor's cover letter, I tailored my cover letter to read that basically that I'm a strong fit for the company, and I included a screen grab here, and I'd like to read it out. I'm applying for this position because I value professionalism as a financial analyst provides to the Coast Guard on a large scale. When I look at the DCO 83 website and fact sheet, so I basically I stole this little clip it from where um, the professor outlined in his cover letter that he researched prior to writing his cover letter, and I felt like that was a really good idea, and I wanted to use that. So I kind of outlined in my cover letter that I did my research on the web sheet and found that they used certain terms to provide um, kind of more of a supporting role in their job, and that was something that I take pride in is in like that support factor with a like the unit first focus. So third question: were there any weaknesses in your experience? Of course, there was weaknesses. Um, I didn't try to downplay much just because my focus in creating my resume and cover letter was a focus of confidence. I wanted to try my best not to include any weaknesses that would make me seem like a bad fit. But in a sense, I also understand that there's definitely a learning curve with the new jobs. But I assume that the employer understands that with most technical jobs and would kind of um, understand with somebody coming in there new would have that slight learning curve. How did I tailor my resume and job letter to the advertisement. Did I use certain terms or phrasing? So I wanted to outline some of this stuff. Buzzwords were big on me too because I felt like that was it was a good highlight in the assignment for last week and this week. And I was able to highlight some of the buzzwords that I found in the job posting and correlated that to buzzwords that I wanted to use in my resume. Certain buzzwords like coordinating, execution. I also have executed and coordinated. Projections were in there as well. I was able to put projections over here, projected. Um, how did I make my job letter and resume work together? Did I take an example from the resume and flesh it out something different? Yes. So I wrote the cover letter in mind as to act as kind of an introduction to my resume, where I highlighted a few critical responsibilities, such as under the direction of senior incumbent budget analyst, I assisted in the development, prioritization of numerous unit spending plans, formation of countless funding transfers authorizations, and resolution of multiple account funding shortfalls, all while performing critical account maintenance. But then in my cover letter where I wrote this, basically the first couple bullet points I wrote um, in my resume, I went into further detail on this. Um, I'm sorry, not my bullet points, but my first professional experience. I basically went into further detail um, on this from my cover letter. Did I do anything different than what the book or I might have suggested? How come what how come what was it and what was I going for? I chose to mimic certain design features from the book example, such as the overall layout, um, where I used the final like the professional experience, the education, professional engagement layout, um, and so I saw an example as a good rendition of what I wanted to achieve, to highlight my responsibilities and my overall goal to become a financial management analyst. Um, and with some experience in the Coast Guard civilian hiring system, I had an understanding of what the interviewer board would look for, where they basically want to look for experience over education, um, because it equates to less training and more of an immediate benefit to the unit. And that's something big that the hiring managers look for. Looking at the resume cover letter, what did you learn about yourself about writing these documents or anything else? Well, going in the last 2 weeks, I was pretty um, I was pretty new about having to write job resumes or cover letters. Um, but then after the last 2 weeks in this reading assignment, I pretty much understood the fact to sell or market myself in that form of writing your laying your job experience out there on a resume. Um, but then my other take back from the assignment was the benefit, like how to portray the benefit that you can give to the company. And that's a good way to include in your cover letter. And I definitely took back from that, um, is that you attitude that we learned early on in the semester. Um, you kind of want to foster that you attitude in your cover letter, um, to make it seem like the company wants you and can benefit from um, your experience. And basically, then with confidence, uh, confidence is the benefit that you provide. I mean, a company, specifically the Coast Guard, they want to look into the confidence role, because if you're not confident in your job, you're not going to excel quickly into a new job, and that's one of the things that they really look for. Collectively, my past experience and sprawling business sense will fit well with the contracting and special appropriations division. I mean, I just bluntly just laid it out there, that my experience will be a good fit. Um, that kind of goes right in more with the confidence block. But basically, that was it. I really appreciated doing this job. There was a lot of good takebacks, and I look forward to doing more of this in the coursework. Thank you.